Hey guys, Adam here with Source Some Creative with another great Duda tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to use FlockRocket to add social proofing pop-ups on your website. This is especially useful for e-commerce stores, and you've probably seen these before when you go to a site and it says X person just bought this product 10 minutes ago. Now, before we dive in, I'd like to remind you to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can get all of the latest tutorials as they come out. And with that, let's go ahead and dive in and get started. All right, guys, so here we are to start off at FlockRocket.io. Now, I originally learned about FlockRocket because it popped up in my Facebook feed for a lifetime deal. And I tend to be a little bit of a sucker for lifetime deals. Now, you can see they have a pop-up here that they are still offering this lifetime deal. I want to say I bought this probably 5 or 6 months ago, and they're still doing this. So I know it says limited time, but chances are this will probably still be here when you watch this review. Now, as you can see here, FlockRocket does a number of different types of pop-ups, and we'll get into that a little bit more in depth later, but you can do coupons and videos and social proofing pop-ups and email subscriptions, reviews, all sorts of stuff. The pricing for this is pretty reasonable. You can see here it's compatible with pretty much any type of website as long as you can embed a script. Duda's not listed here, but we're used to that. FlockRocket has two different packages. There's the Essential package and the Agency package. The Essential package is mainly for just a single website versus the Agency package you can have 5. You also get more site visitors per month, unlimited widget impressions, and you can white label it with removable branding. Now, there's some other things here as well that you get with the Agency package, and this is a pretty fair price in comparison to things. The lifetime deal that's going on, this $97, if I remember correctly, is just for the Essential package. So if you want the Agency package, I want to say I paid an extra $100 for that. So I think it was $197 total for the Agency package. And I want to say that I have unlimited sites as well on that lifetime deal. I don't know if that's still what they're offering, but I do want to show you that there are a couple other options as well if you're interested in looking at other things. There's this Proof Plus that looks pretty nice. I have not used this, but it looks pretty nice. I think from the looks of things here, the only thing that they do is the social proof pop-ups showing when products were purchased. It doesn't look like they do any of the other types of pop-ups, but I could be wrong. Their pricing is quite a bit more than FlockRocket. They base their pricing off of unique views per month. And at their lowest package, it's $29 per month. But still pretty reasonable. You just get a lot less unique visitors than you do on FlockRocket. The other option that's available, and I've seen this one a lot lately, I think they had a lifetime deal on AppSumo at one time. I'm not sure whether they still do or not. But that's Evidence.io. And this one looks really nice. It's awfully comparable to FlockRocket. It does a lot of the same types of pop-ups that FlockRocket does with the conversions or social proof pop-ups, announcements and coupons, all sorts of things. And there's plenty of integrations. Now, their pricing, they are the most expensive so far out of these three that I'm showing you, starting at $40 a month for 5,000 site visitors and unlimited domains. And then the price goes up from there. Now, I want to say again that I have not used Evidence or Proof Pulse, mainly just because I have FlockRocket, and so far it's met the needs for me. Now, let's dive into FlockRocket. When you sign up, you're going to be taken to this main dashboard. And in this main dashboard, you can add your campaigns. Your campaigns are equivalent to sites. Now, you can see I've only set up a couple here. I've only just kind of played around with it and dove back into it here recently. And then you've also got your install script button here, which we'll come back to in a little bit. But for right now, what I want to do is take you directly into what it looks like to create a campaign with FlockRocket and all the different options that you have. So once you set up your site, you'll be taken into your campaign notifications panel. and you can create new notifications by clicking the create notification button. Now from here, you will need to name your campaign and choose the type of campaign that you want. Now you can see all the different campaign types here. There's informational, which looks like this. There's coupon, that looks like that. A live counter of the number of visitors on your site, an email collector, latest conversions. So this is the social proof pop-up, as I'm referring to it. Shows you that somebody signed up for a newsletter or purchased the product. You also have a conversions counter, which is very similar, but it shows the number of conversions in a given time frame. You can also have a video that looks like that. You can do social sharing, reviews, emojis, cookie notifications, score feedback, request collectors, and countdown collectors. I'll show you the countdown collector here. I have to say I'm a bit disappointed by this countdown collector. I feel like this should look a bit prettier than it does. So I probably won't use this on any of my sites. But we're going to go ahead and set up a latest conversion campaign. So I've selected the campaign type and I want to name it latest conversion. You can name it whatever you want. And then just click submit. From here, you can start to set up all the particular settings for this campaign. So you can put in here who converted, the conversion text, a URL to an image, and then a notification URL. So if you want the visitor to be taken to another page after they click on this, this is what you would put in here. You can also choose the number of conversions that you want to show. And then we can go to triggers, and you can choose by default, it's going to display this on all pages of your site. You can also toggle this off, and you can choose to display it only on certain pages or exclude pages using these different filters here. We're going to leave it on all. So then you set up your trigger. Currently it's set to delay 2 seconds, so this will pop up after 2 seconds after the page has loaded. But you can also set it to exit intent or a scroll percentage after the person scrolls a certain amount of the page. You can choose whether you want to display this notification once per session or not, and whether or not you want to display it on small screens. The display tab will give you the option to determine how long you want this pop-up to display. So the default here is 5 seconds. If you want it to display forever, so it never goes away, you set it to -1. And then you choose the position where you want this to display. I'm going to leave it at bottom left. Do you want there to be a close button, so a little X for the person to be able to close the pop-up? And do you want to display the branding or not? Now I'm going to toggle this off. I do not want to display this branding right here that says by FlockRocket.io. Now what I don't understand is with this, why is it when I toggle this off, why that doesn't update here in the editor and show me that that branding is turned off. You'll see here that some things do and some things don't, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. So under the Customize tab here, I can change the color of the title. Let's say I want to just make it red. You can see it automatically updated that. But in similar fashion to the branding part, this border radius, I can change that to straight or round, and it does not update. It doesn't show me what that's going to look like. I really don't understand that. I'm not sure I care for that very much. But you can also change the description color and the background color here. Now the next thing you might be wondering is, well, how does this know when a conversion has happened? So that's where we get into the data tab here. And this works off of webhook triggers. And so what you would need to do is set up this webhook trigger with your e-commerce solution or a contact form, however you want to do that, whatever equals a conversion for you, you would set up with this webhook. And then you can capture it that way, and it'll automatically update that campaign pop-up. You can also use this auto capture option. I'm not sure how well this would work, but you can try to set this up so that it automatically detects when a form has been submitted on your site, whether that's a contact form or purchasing a product. I would probably just stick to using the actual trigger. So now that I've set this up the way I want to, I'm going to go ahead and hit submit here. And that campaign has been saved. It says that it's now live, but that's actually a bit deceiving. You actually need to turn it on. So you'll see this little toggle up here next to our campaign title. You need to toggle that on in order for this campaign to actually be live. So right now what I want to do is go back to our main dashboard. So you'll see here that I've got all these other campaigns set up. The one that we just built is toggled on. These other ones I've toggled off. And I'm going to leave them toggled off for now because I don't want a big mess on the site when I show you how to actually integrate this into your Duda site. I only want the one showing up. But I do want to show you what some of these look like. Rather than building out each one of these individually, I wanted to just give you an idea of what some of the other options are. So I set this up as a notification campaign. And this is just a simple, hey, there's a flash sale going on. And this pop-up I set up with an exit intent. There's also this random review widget. This just shows a random review. What I don't like about this is that as far as connected content is concerned, you have to actually come in here and manually input the data for the reviews. The name, the text, the image URL for the person, as well as the number of stars that they rated you. I wish that this had a direct API connection with Google My Business or Facebook reviews so that it could just automatically pull that in. So I don't really like that that doesn't. That's a bit disappointing to me. There's also that countdown collector, which I showed you earlier, which I'm not a big fan of. And then a coupon. So this is just a standard coupon. I could set in here my title and the coupon code, your image, all that is available to set up here. And you can, of course, customize the colors and things just like we did on the other option. So these are all pretty cool. Now what I want to do is I want to show you how does this actually integrate with your Duda website, or really any other website for that matter. So we have to go back to our dashboard. And I actually found this to be a little bit confusing to start off with because I kind of expected, I guess, that each one of these campaigns, or at least each individual site, would have its own unique script to install on my site, but it actually doesn't work that way. So you have to go all the way back to your main dashboard where I showed you earlier, there's that install script option. So you only get one script per account, and that script is used on every site, and it just knows which campaigns to pull based upon the URL or the domain. So, I mean, in some ways that's easier. It just wasn't intuitive for me at first. It's not what I expected. And so all we need to do is copy this pixel code, and we're going to install this in the head of our site. So I'm going to flip over here to my site that we're going to use. This is just one of our sub-sites, and I'm going to dive into the code editor in my Duda site. From here, we'll head to site HTML, CSS, and the head section, and we'll just go ahead and paste that script right in there and hit save. Now close this out, republish your site. And we see here that our pop-up came up after 2 seconds, just like we expected. Now, I set this to stay there, but you could have set it to disappear after a few seconds. If you'd set it to exit intent, if my mouse or the site visitor's mouse went anywhere near the X button in either corner here to close this browser, that's when it would pop up instead. So there's a lot of different options available to you. This is a pretty cool way to do these sort of things. So here's my final take on FlockRocket. I think FlockRocket is a great tool for the price. Like I said, I paid 197 bucks for the lifetime deal with white labeling and agency plan, unlimited sites. I feel like I got a good deal. 197 bucks. I feel like I can use this on a lot of sites. It does what I expect it to. It looks nice. Other than that countdown campaign module, there's a lot of different options. I feel like this is going to work well for me. But you know, overall, I would say that if I really had a budget to spend on something like this, I would probably go with Evidence. Now I haven't used it, but I think that their platform is a lot nicer. It's a lot more clean and well put together. But again, I like FlockRocket. I would recommend it. I sure wouldn't tell you not to use it. But this is how you set it up. Hope this tutorial was helpful, and go ahead and get after it.